Yeah.
There we go.
Surprise!
All right.
Who knew?
This is TJ's.
All right, so we're Legion live show tonight. We have Cliff on comics, Matt Lex comics,
Hi,
and
everybody.
Collecto 6.
Hi, everybody.
Tonight we are going to show some books, talk about Legion, and then my guests are going to open a package. So who wants to go first? Cliff?
Are we opening the package in unison?
I would think we
Yes.
would have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then, how much of my Legion road do I get to go down? We're just gonna go. all in?
We'll call for surrender when we've had it.
All right.
We'll bring out the Kryptonian flag when the Legion Civil War.
That's right. That is
For
right.
those that don't know,
That is
was
very
344,
prescient that you
334.
said that
Look at that.
for one of the books I'm going to show.
There you go.
So let's go back in time to December, allegedly, of 1959, where a young Kryptonian named Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, has his second run-in with these teenagers from the future who know all his business in Adventure Comics 267. The
Great
second
book.
of the Legion
Great
Super-
book.
Now, it's not the first appearance of Legion Superheroes because I'm not blessed like Matthew. But I struggled hard over the eBays to get this, so it's okay. It's mine.
But Cliff, I don't have that one. That's one of the ones I'm
I don't
looking
either.
at.
I don't have that. I had that one in my first collection. I don't have that now either.
You know what? Shut up, Matthew. Save your money from not buying hats and buy this book. And I'm not resentful that he has a first appearance of Legion and I don't. Of course not.
Well, you hide it well, Cliff.
I really do. I really do.
I believe Thomas has one too.
And I'm
Do
sure.
you, Thomas?
Mhm.
Wow.
Is it a 5? Is it a 5.5? Is it a 6?
Nah, it's a 2.
Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, I win one. All right. My next acquisition this year that I'm very proud of is Supergirl's first meeting with the Legion, which happens to be their third appearance. And they Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and Cosmic Boy pull this crap with her. They're like, "Oh, we're the kids of the Legionnaires that met your uncle or your cousin." Never to be spoken of again. But anyhow, that is Action Comics 267, which, by the way, Adventure 267, Action
267.
Were they actually thinking about this, or were this just fabulous coincidences, right?
Well, it's like Superman 123 and Flash 123.
Mhm.
Superman 123 has another tryout of Supergirl, and Flash 123 changed the entire continuum of DC.
There you go. Telling you.
And don't even get me started about number ones.
Now, from Action Comics 267, we leap a year into the future, pun intended, to Action Comics 276 for the fifth appearance of the Legion.
Big book.
And
That's my
Supergirl
next big one I want.
joins,
That's a big book.
and I had to get this from Hong Kong. And I didn't know I was battling for it in Hong Kong. And then I was like, wow, I got it for a really good price. And then I saw where it was coming from. I'm like, oh, no wonder everyone was terrified to buy from the seller. But it arrived.
Wonderful.
And I love the seller. But this is the
Everybody starts in that book, don't they?
first.
Pretty much. That's Sun Boy.
Phantom Girl, Triplicate Girl, Shrinking Violet, and Bouncing Boy. 6 first appearances, and Supergirl officially joins the Legion because last time around, Red Kryptonite aged her and suddenly she was ineligible.
Like you do.
For time travelers, they were dumb as hell. All right. Then, moving ahead to Adventure Comics 282, we've now had the fourth. Wait. That's the third appearance. Second, third. Oh, I'm out of order. Second, third, 6th appearance of Legion. So the 5th appearance of Legion is 282, where we meet Starboy Tom Taylor, who later will be the star man of the JSA under the Jeff Johns run. So good for him.
6.5 is a nice grade for that one.
Is it was another eBay battle for this book. Some of these Legion books nearly cost me my trip to Heroes, but we powered through. So here's another one where the majority of this story is about Lana being a jealous little hoe, and like the way they would
Again.
Yes, again. And don't even get me started on how Supergirl joined the Legion was really a story about her having two boyfriends in two different time periods. So like, oh, Supergirl, I do wish you'd come visit me in Atlantis more. Girl, stop dragging that boy along. What are
Well, Comet kept telling her to ride, I want you to ride me. Isn't that right? Okay, he's a horse, isn't he?
He's
yes.
Okay, all right, I don't know.
He's only a horse under the right conditions. Y'all got to watch out for Comet. Comet's
Just
dangerous.
don't roll over.
Also, when we first
Clutch won't fall off.
When we first meet Starboy here, by the way, this is Starboy's girlfriend, who we never meet again.
Cynthia.
She served her purpose.
She served her purpose for one issue, and then all of a sudden, we act like he's not from the same century as Superboy. It's hilarious. But Starboy has almost all of Superboy's powers. It's really interesting how they kind of have a twist and shape the story around him to being about gravity powers over time.
Which is why, if you read the Legion of Superheroes 306, they explain that.
No, they
explain how he got his powers and how come he lost his powers.
Right, and how they changed.
How did he lose his powers, Matt?
They just faded. The effect of the comet that he flew through in the story
Mm-hmm.
was only temporary.
Boy,
He was
those
always
comets
born-
sure are fickle. Just like Streaky with the the kryptonite inside the ball of yarn.
He was born with the power, the gravity power. That's why he still had it. That one was okay. He had that, but he had that with the other powers. They just didn't show it in the
Right.
So what planet did he come from? Graviton?
Xanthu.
Xanthu. What's Starboy's name?
Tom Calor.
Tom like Thom?
Yes, it's Thom, but it's pronounced Tom.
Okay.
And you mentioned Comet, and it's really unfortunate that he's not on the cover of his first appearance. But his first appearance also happens to be the second appearance of General Zod and the first appearance of the Legion of Super Pets.
Yes.
That's a great book.
In Action Comics 293. And I got this for $120 at Cliffs Con in Connecticut earlier this year, and boy, did I jump on it.
What a great book.
Why you know why they made the note about Comet? Because the story for Comet meeting Supergirl was in the can. It just hadn't been produced yet.
Yep.
So they knew it was coming.
Yep. And then we get Comet's origin in Action Comics.
It's a funny thing. Some books you would see more than other books. When I was growing up with all these, there were some books that you would see a lot. And that particular book was one that, at least in our area, I saw a lot. So I had my choice of several issues, and I bought two, for, a 50 cents a piece or something like that to have those. And I still have them. They're beautiful, beautiful books.
Well, one of those creatures makes one appearance later, and I think that's the only time that those creatures, the ball, the brain creatures there, were used again. And it was in one of the later Legion books before they finished with all that stuff. So
I'm gonna.
I'm sorry. Shall I go? Are you done, Cliff, or no?
Not done. I'm like. That's why I said how deep into my story time am I going? I just want to say this is the Justice League Omega Act special. I got the cover with Superman fighting the evil Darkseid Legion. So
yeah, that's recent.
This is a fascinating story. It's very recent. So for Legion fans, there's a lot going on here. What we've learned so far in the pages of Superman leading into this event is that when Darkseid created the Absolute Universe, he started sending out an Omega message, right? An Omega effect message calling out to people. And so somewhere in the multiverse was a Saturn girl who received the message and felt the darkness within her, and then used her telepathic ability and her newfound infusion with Omega Force to seek out Legionnaires across the multiverse who received the message that she received to
It's
make
such a good story.
It is a
So why are they sprayed all over the universe again?
multiverse.
Why are they sprayed all over the multiverse?
Well, you know how we've already met 3 different versions of the Legion?
Okay, I dig. Okay, say no more. I dig.
She's been cherry picking through the variations of them to form Darkseid's Legion. And in the process, a handful of them have banded together from the multiverse to try to fight back.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil what happens in Superman number 30, but needless to say, a very unlikely super person jumps
So good.
into
so good.
Matter Eater Lad.
Can I ruin?
No.
Are we going to ruin it for anybody?
Corn Cob Lad.
No,
I read it.
Bob Cobb.
It's Superboy Prime.
Yes, it's Superboy Prime. It's so funny.
Superboy Prime, and again, he appears to turn on Superman and pretends like he was one of the people who received the calling from Saturn Girl. But no, it was a crock, because when we last saw him, he sacrificed himself so that Superman could be powered up enough to put an end to the death metal saga along with Batman and Wonder Woman, right? And then Superboy tells us that he reappeared on the reformation of his planet with his powers and chose to take this new lease on life and be a hero, right? And then, of course, the newest version of Time Trapper is Doomsday,
Yes.
and he cherry-picked him to help Superman. And then he turns on the Legionnaires after he's given Superman an advantage, and as they're leaving and Superman realizes that he was wrong about him, he's like, take my ring, my Legion ring, and come back with me. He goes, why are you giving me your Legion ring? I haven't earned it. He goes, but I know that you will, right? So, and Superboy Prime, because you know he's from our world, right?
Yeah.
His ability to travel through time is by punching through dimensional barriers. So he punches Superman, who's clutching on to Booster Gold, punches him into the past. And he turns to the remaining Legionnaires, right? And they're like, how can we beat them? They're so powerful. And he goes, it doesn't matter, because the Legion has been a large group. It's been a small group. It's been full of superpowered people, not full of superpowered people. But the whole thing is, we never give up. And then he says, long live the Legion. And they go into battle with Darkseid's Legion. It gives me chills, because you know what warms my heart? When Jeff Johns wrote Legion of Three Worlds, he wrote Superman saying, I want to redeem Superboy Prime.
Yes.
And that's absolutely not what happened. And the fact that somewhere between death metal, which I never cared for or appreciated, but now this new story gives me an ounce of respect for it, to see that he succeeded in Superboy Prime having a little bit of redemption, you know, I think is really nice and a nice turnaround. And he even said to Superman at one point, he goes, but you killed people. He goes, but everybody I killed is alive. So does that really still count against me? You know, it was like a whole thing. But it really brings up like some really weird, crazy questions, right? Like, is it true? I mean, all the people you killed are alive again. So I want to put out here just to like, just to remind us of where the Legion are today.
Very good.
I love evil Saturn Girl.
Oh, she's bad. So bad.
Well, she was a laugh a minute at the beginning.
I
How she
always
treated
liked-
all of the poor people trying to get into. You stink. Your powers stink. Get
I
out.
know, but
What a
that
biatch,
was mean girl Saturn Girl. I'm talking about bad girl Saturn Girl.
Well, I mean, but
Completely different.
She was so rude, you know, and we're all supposed to laugh at these people. I mean, they're setting it up like, look at these klutzy people trying to, and here they have their heart on their sleeves, wanting to save and rescue people and do good. and they just get crapped all over them.
How many of them became villains as a result?
A few.
Yeah,
Right?
a few.
League of Super Assassins, League of Super. What was the other? The Legion of Super Villains, but that's not really rejects.
Mm-mm.
The Legion of Super Rejects. I mean,
Yeah, the Justice League Earth in that one storyline where the Earth had turned Red Sun, and Superman had to go back and rescue them all because Brainiac came into him.
The thing about Brainiac, his entire idea, his whole raison d'etre, went from being this creepy collector with his little pet monkey Coco,
Mhm.
and then he turned into this like super intellect that can be basically jetted around into robot bodies and all this other stuff. They really made him too powerful, and that's sometimes I really I think that's cheap writing when they make them so powerful that I guess being heroic is just eking out a win. And this is the thing, this is my big knock on Marvel. All Marvel is a soap opera of nothing but trouble, punctuated by superheroes coming in, villains coming in, and pounding the hell out of the hero, like with Spider-Man trying to get the serum for Aunt May, who has been dying for 105 years. And by the way, have you ever noticed you never see the Ancient One around when you see Aunt May? I think it's the same guy. Okay, then poor Uncle Ben. So it just at some point you have to just kind of go, what the heck? Shall I do it, or do you want Matt to go?
Hello.
Who do you want to go next, Thomas?
You can
You're
go,
the
you can go
boss.
next, Steph.
I'm next. Okay.
Yep.
Here I commissioned this a long time ago, and I asked Pete Woods to put all of the Legion females into one picture.
Oh, nice.
ooh,
Can
Are
you
they
make me big? Do you know how to do that, Thomas?
No.
Okay. But I wanted Saturn Girl, I wanted Dream Girl there, and I took the pictures from a lot of the group shots where they would have them in the book, where they would show them and show their origins. Shadow Lass that's the way she had her hands up like that.
Yeah.
And then, but this is one of my favorites. It's a big piece, though.
That's amazing. Who did it?
Yeah.
Pete Woods.
Nice.
So I wanted to show. I don't think I've ever shown that one before. And then I take it back. I got that one that you had showed, Cliff, in 1990. And in 1990, that was a plentiful book. That's like if I went to I was going to cons back then, and when you'd riffle through the boxes of Adventure, the A's, and you go in through Adventure, I could find 2, 3, 4 high-grade copies. Now, I don't know if there was a find or something for that book, but it's such a great cover that generally I only buy. I have a lot of dupes, frankly, of a lot of the books. Sometimes I forget in triplets. Sometimes I forget the grade I have on them. And so then what I'll do is I say, oh, that looks better. And then I get home, I paid more for it, and it isn't as nice as the one that I paid less for, which is always a wonderful feeling. It's a great feeling. Okay. So I'm going back to when we moved in 1960 from our house in Eastmoreland up into the West Hills of Portland because my father wanted to have a house with a view. It was a very Charlie Brown neighborhood that we lived in, which was perfectly all right, very nice neighborhood. But he wanted to have a view. And so we moved up to the West Hills, and all the kids in the neighborhood collected adventure comics, and I had not been exposed to them as yet. So my first experience with them was in 1960. And some of the kids had older brothers and sisters, older brothers, who collected comics, and some of their comics would live on through the little brothers and the littler brothers and things like that. And they were always completely whiffed out. But we got to read them, which was very nice, and about the Legion. And then it was all about the Legion, so I had to start collecting the Legion of Superheroes. And it was very difficult because we didn't have any comic shops or anything like that. It was basically catch as catch can. And then buying them new off the rack. In 1960, they were going along. And so we were getting them, and I had a subscription. One of my Christmas presents one year was from 63 to 64, 63 and 64, where it was a subscription, 2-year subscription to Adventure Comics. So my first collection of I always got them before the newsstands did, but of course they were folded in half. And I would then straighten them out, but there was always all the damage down the middle of the book. But I got them first. And so I remember getting all of those, just waiting, and then when the mail would come, and there it would be, and it would be folded in half with brown paper around it with our address. And the way you could do it is you didn't have to tear the brown paper, because I was always afraid I was going to tear the cover. You know, if I tried to tear the paper and I catch the cover and I just tear the cover, which would kill me. So you just put your fingers very gently in the back of it and push a little bit, and you just extract it out of the brown paper. Clean brown paper. Clean, nice, brown, fresh brown paper. And that's how the smell of that, and then the smell of the ink and the print was really, really good. So anyway, and then I had one room up in the attic and half of a ping pong table, and I always had them laid out. So when I would go up to the attic, no one would bother them. I could go up to the attic, and here are all my books laid out before me. It was all Legion, pure Legions. It was like frosting on a cake. All of these adventure comics, you know. So anyway, one of the books that was extremely hard to get, and one of the characters that I thought was enticing, was Mon-El. And that he had all the powers, but he didn't, because, I mean, he had the lead, and he was sort of semi-tragic and all this, and into the Phantom Zone and all this other stuff. And we would talk about, we were little kids, we talk about it all. What do you think about Mon-El? Oh, what can we do? And then, but finding his first appearance in Superboy no one had it. And it was very hard to get. So one of the ones I was very, very glad to get was this one, which is the first appearance of Mon-El. And his name really wasn't Mon-El. He just gave him the name Mon-El and the House of El. But it isn't, at that point, it wasn't really the House of El or anything. It was just Kal-El. It means that another L, like anybody with an E-L at the end was like from Krypton or something. It wasn't like that. Oh, he named him Mon-El. But I still think the name of his traveling salesman's secret identity of Bob Cobb. You know, my brother and I laughed. You know, what am I?
Seinfeld used that. The Maestro played by not James Woods, the other guy, the one that was in Animal House.
Belushi?
No. The one that was in the Twisted Sister videos that said, "What are you gonna do with your life?" Mark Metcalf, that's it. Mark Metcalf played the Maestro on Seinfeld, and Seinfeld gave him the name Bob Cobb because, like, you know, he called himself the Maestro, but everyone was like, Bob.
But this book was one that I really was so hard, and a dealer friend of mine who is somewhat nomadic and goes around finding all these types of books and enjoys, that's his living. But he always, if he finds this book, he always will buy it. There's about a dozen or so books that if he ever finds them, he always will buy them if they're presentable. And this is one of them. But this one, I can't even remember where I got. I got another. I have two of these, and they're both pretty darn nice. But I love this cover so much. So there's that.
I love that how they go to this random asteroid to play baseball, and there's this, you know, Jack in the Box with double flame-headed.
You do. This is code. This is Comics Code DC, right? And we didn't know anything different at the time. We were little kids. That's the only comics we knew. We didn't know anything about Golden Age or any of this stuff. We didn't know anything. All we knew was on the racks, and the racks were not that completely stuffed with every single title you could think of. It was DC's, it was Marvel's, it was Gold Key, and then Charlton kind of insinuated itself in there a little bit, but that was really about it. The Dells with any number of different characters like that, you know, and of course they had runs inside Dell, like for Turok, Son of Stone, which was very cool. And when Magnus came out, Magnus was really big too. I love Russ Manning's art. But that was the first one of those. Then when we finally figured out, when the word finally figured out that where was the first appearance of the Legion, then we saw a book. It says when someone saw in one of the letters columns, where was the first Legion? And they all went issue Adventure 300. Well, not a single kid in the neighborhood. There were about 8 or 9 of us that were collecting. There wasn't a single copy. No one had even heard of Adventure Comics 300. So we're all looking for it. No one had it. No one even knew what they looked like. There was no source. There was no internet. There was no nothing. And so finally I found out what it looked like. And then after a long time, a collection came in about 1990 to a farm out in Molalla, Oregon. And it was 3 generations of kids that the grandparents, there were some kids that were kids in like 1950. And then the second set of kids were like 1960. And science fiction was what they had. And part of it was Mystery in Space, House of Secrets, House of Mystery, and Adventure Comics, plus others. And they call it the Molalla Collection. And in the Molalla Collection was this issue, this copy, beautiful copy of Adventure 300. And so I bought all of the books from that collection. And what had happened, the dealers that this guy had gone into, what it was, he actually was a Disney toy collector. And the family had gone to Disneyland when they opened. And the kids came back, they had bought the kids all the toys, and the kids kept them in all of their original boxes. And the maps and everything. And this guy took, and plus other toys they had that they kept perfectly. And this guy said, I'll take everything. And so he knew about the toys and he knew about some of the other stuff. He didn't know anything about comics. And these are all like high VF. All of them are like very high VF with white pages. It was a cold, dry, dark barn that they lived in. It was a good barn. Well, anyway, these people all lowballed him, offering him like 25 or 30 bucks for the bunch and stuff. He says, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. And he kept looking. But my dealer, when he came in and showed them to him, said, he says, yeah, they offered me, I think they offered me $115 for all of them. And my guy said, oh, that is really wrong. And he took out the price guide, which was still valid back then. And he showed him the prices, and the guy got so mad that these people were going to take advantage of him. He says, I'd be willing to make you a fair offer. He says, you've won them. He says, as far as I'm concerned, you're the only one that was honest with me out of all of these guys. And so he bought them all. And after he had gotten all of them and was just finished sorting them, I walked through the door. It was a very, very fortuitous thing. That's how I got this particular copy of Adventure 300.
Nice.
Then there was another. It's funny how some books are harder to get than others. And then there was this fabled thing about the Legion of Superheroes, the Civil War of the Legion. What is the Civil War of the Legion? They had a civil war? What happened? What happened? No one had it. No, all they did was, and then the letters column would talk, like 3 months later, you get the letters from the book 2 months ago, right? And they said, oh, I just wanted to tell you how great I thought the lead win the Civil War. Why didn't this and that and the flags they were carrying? And all of us are going, well, what happened? We don't even know what happened. So when I finally got a chance to buy the Legion in the Civil War, it was another red letter day for me. And to get this one was just really, to get that black cover so nice. It was just, the Legion was just so cool. And one of the things about Edmund Hamilton, who was one of the writers, one of the primary writers of the Legion, Edmund Hamilton was a very accomplished writer, and he wrote for Weird Tales pulps back in the 30s and the 40s. And he had innumerable stories. He was a very gifted writer, but he gave life to the characters in the Legion of Superheroes. He gave them all their personalities, right? Yeah. And then and who was the artist to begin with?
Well, Al Pacino was first.
Well, I know, but Plastino was the early. I'm talking about
Jim Mooney did some.
That's Supergirl. Supergirl was more Jim Mooney.
No. Jim Mooney did all the Legion stories with Supergirl in it.
Okay.
So there was Jim Mooney. There was Kurt Swan did some.
I remember, but that's not the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of who was in between.
What is it?
Moldoff?
No.
No, hang on. I'll get you the.
All
Otto
right,
Binder?
I'll let you. Hut?
Was it Otto?
No.
No,
Al Plastino?
Well, he was
He
Plastino was
first.
first. No, there's a person, and I'll give you a hint. They always had everybody so rigid and up and down, but their costumes looked perfect. And when they flew, they looked like they were just completely straight. And great with faces and costumes, but as far as motion, it was all quite
George
rigid.
Papp.
Huh?
George Papp.
George Papp did Green Arrow.
He
I
also
think it's
he also
George
did Adventure. He also did Adventure 300 to 318.
I'm waiting for the name, and I will say yay when you get it. The last book that I will show was the one that was the book in my neighborhood that everyone wanted. Everyone wanted. Fabled. Unobtainium. Never saw it.
Oh,
No
John
one could
Forte?
find it. They wanted it so badly. And we all would bubble and fizz trying to figure out how we could get, because we didn't know anything about it. There were no reprints or anything. And it was the Super Moby Dick of space.
Oh.
And that was the one that everyone just had to have. And I can remember looking for this book, and even in the 90s, this book was always trashed. I mean, it was read to death.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also very hard to find. It was some books are harder to find than others. And then I got a breathtaking copy of this one. And again, that scratched an ancient itch. That sounds disgusting, but it's true. It scratched it.
It was John
It
Forte
scratched-
you were looking for.
Cliff's eyebrows
Yep,
went
John
over
Forte.
the top of his head.
Yeah. By the way,
Anyway, but this,
the book you're showing, Stephen, was the one I had taken forever to find. You said 300 was hard for you, and the Krypton one was hard for you. That one was really hard for me.
It
I
was
lost
hard for
so many
everybody.
auctions for that.
It took me a hell of a long time to get this, but so anyway, those are the books.
Well, I'm going to do a little a different period. I have stuff from the Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes period from the 70s, and very little because I just wanted to stick to. I didn't want to overwhelm everybody. My story starts here.
Mm-hmm.
This is, of course, the one where this is the big one where Lightning Lad marries Saturn Girl, and at the time, married Legionnaires were forced to leave the team, part of the Legion Constitution. So, one of the reasons they weren't sure if they wanted to get married was that Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad didn't want to leave their friends, with the rules being what they were, because at this point, Bouncing Boy and Duo Damsel had already gotten married and had to leave. So they didn't want to leave either. Thus, leading to one of the best storylines from the 1970s and one of Paul Levitz's first big, he did most of the big story arcs for the Legion, especially in the 80s. This was one of his first big ones, and this was the Earth War from issues 241 to 245 of Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. Basically, what happens is that they call them the United Planets, I believe so, eh?
I think
United
so, yeah.
Planets were meeting with the Dominators to discuss a peace treaty to make sure they never fight. And then, some unknown source creates this thing called the Dark Circle, which decides it wants to, make sure that this doesn't happen. So they get the Kuns to invade. They get a bunch of other things to invade, and Earth becomes a battleground. The Legion members of the Legion get kidnapped. They get knocked out of the fight. In issue 241, 242, you can see here they're still fighting, and eventually most of the Legionnaires are captured and taken out of the fight, and some of them are sent off on. Instead of being able to rescue their friends right away, they get sent off to try and stop fighting in further ends of the galaxy. It was kind of crazy. So Earth came down to being defended in 243 by the Legion of Substitute Heroes and the 4 heroes who got married and had to retire from the Legion. As you can see on this cover, some members are fighting on other planets, and you see the substitute heroes here. And well, the substitute heroes and Lightning Lad, Duo Damsel, Bouncing Boy, and Saturn Girl managed to stop the biggest part of the invasion. So Earth escapes a lot of the damage, but they're still being attacked, and things are still going on. In this issue, number 244, Superboy manages to escape and help rescue some of his comrades. And then we discover that the person behind the Earth War and all the events going on was Mordru.
May I say, Thomas, may I break in just a moment? Do you show the chat on your sidebar there?
No, I can't see it.
Okay, you can't see your chat?
Mm-mm.
Do you want me to shout out the chat just to acknowledge everybody that's here?
Yeah.
We have JSS Brooklyn. Hello there. We have Big Nasty Comics. We have Christina Payne.
Hi, Christina.
We have Big Lyle Hobson.
Hi, Lyle.
We have, of course, Cliff is here. Big Matt. We have, again, Lyle, me. I just wanted to say hi to everybody that came to watch Adventure Goodness. And by the way, I will answer the question for you now. For who the artist was that was the first, that I always was one of the first, is John Forte.
Yes, we did.
Yep, Matt had it.
We did blurt his name out.
We did blurt it. And so here's the last issue of the Earth War where Mordru is on the thing. And they defeat Mordru because if you guys remember, Mordru's weakness is if he's surrounded by dirt, he loses his powers. Well, Element Lad.
I think that's the human condition, that when we're surrounded by dirt, we lose our powers.
Yes,
Isn't that so?
I feel like we're surrounded by dirt after we lost those powers.
Element Lad manages to turn some of the atoms in the air into silicon oxide and buries him, so that they save everything. And the story ends with the Legion having an emergency meeting where they change the.
Is there any other kind?
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Where they changed the Constitution to allow married members to rejoin the Legion in gratitude to the four that helped them. Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl can't rejoin fast enough, but Duo Damsel and Bouncing Boy decide to stay retired. So
they go and run the Legion Academy. So good for them.
Yes, that happens later. That's really cool. They do have a period. There's a couple of stories later in this run of them on their other planet where they decided to live for a while, and then they came back to do the.
Did they ever give Chuck Tane any other powers than? I mean, could he extend his rubberized anything or make people rubber? I mean,
no,
was it always just a bouncing boy and that was it?
Only his wife will ever know.
But to be fair, he did have the power. Like electricity could not bother him because he was considered rubber for that. So Lightning Lad, for example, couldn't affect Bouncing Boy.
Okay.
They made a point of saying that, you know, his body was so malleable, it was like rubber in that sense. So it was grounded. So that's what I brought tonight. I just something short, something sweet.
All right.
Well,
so
do you have anything, Tom?
yeah, back there, right there, I had the first Mon-El. But I always, when I'm looking for these Legion books, what I did notice is they are really hard to find in high grade, which I'm assuming they were well loved. Like
Virtually all of them, DC was it at that point.
And then I got the Archives, and then Al Plastino book, and the Otto Binder book, and then I got the Superboy and the Legion right here, 1 and 2, and then
Nice.
up top is the back issue with the Legion from the 70s.
Nice.
Isn't it
and then
Otto
right-
Binder? I don't think it's Bender. Otto Binder, I think. Unless you
Oh,
said
Auto
Binder.
Binder? It's Auto Binder.
So I
Was there-
brought just some books I got recently.
Oh, I love that.
Book. That's a great book. Jim Shooter's first comic ever.
Yep, and the first
Damn it,
appearance
man.
of Karate
Damn it,
Kid, Princess
man.
Projector, Fairlad, and Nemesis Kid.
Yeah.
Damn.
I cried when Pharaoh Lad died. I did.
And
I got
what
some-
I
I got
can't get
other
is
ones.
that he was 13 when he wrote that story.
Right. And it was published when he was 14, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A long time ago, I got like a whole set of books off of eBay, and they were all high grade adventure. One was the Legion Civil War. I don't have them right here. I can't even find them, but one of them was a subscription because it was creased in the middle, and I got them for like a steal. This one I showed before. This is first appearance of the Legion Flight Rings.
9-0.
And
Wow.
Damn, and a 9.
Bizarre
Oh,
Legionnaires.
Yes, the Bizarro Legionnaires.
Did you-
I think that's cool.
Did
because-
you outbid me on that book, sir?
What's that?
Did you get that on eBay? Did you outbid me on that book?
No, I think I got this off of Heritage.
Okay, then that's fine.
It was a long time ago.
I love the fact that part of the reason that story was done wasn't just, let's get the Bizarros into the 30th century. That actually was considered a tribute to the fact that it was the Legion that kicked the Bizarros out of adventure.
Yes. Yep. They were the feature, and then they took over.
Mm.
And then this is Adventure 321, first appearance of Time Trapper, and Bouncy Boy loses powers.
Yeah, and that's the one
8-5.
where they're trying to ferret out a spy by pretending to have this secret weapon or something, and they were trying to see if they could give away the secrets of it. I think.
Yeah, I haven't read this one yet.
Yeah.
I think I'm still in volume 1. I'll start rereading them. Adventure
Dream Girl.
317, First
Dream
Beautiful
Girl.
Dreamer. Or no, was that Beautiful Dreamer? Dream
Dream
Girl.
Girl. Beautiful Dreamer was one of the Forever people.
Yep. And then I got 282, first appearance of Starboy.
Yeah,
In
great
an
book.
Beautiful books, man.
Look at the. He invited me here, and then to take his higher grade books, and you crushed me like Zach and Cody crushed AJ Kappa with their wallets.
Action 267, third appearance of the Legion, first Chameleon Boy, Invisible Kid, and Colossal Boy.
Yes.
That's a really tough book. That pink cover always is faded.
By the way, I would like to point out something before I forget the thought. The official Legion list of who joined the team actually has Supergirl and Brainiac 5 joining before Superboy. So I really don't know how those three go back in history and say to Supergirl, yeah, your cousin was part of the team, because at that point they hadn't met him yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's there's a little fast and loose going on here.
Yes,
There's lots
because-
of that loose.
because if I remember correctly, it goes the three originals, then Duo Damsel / Triplicate Girl, Phantom Girl, then Chameleon Boy and Colossal Boy at the same time, and then Invisible Kid, and then Brainiac 5 and Supergirl, because all the other ones that were in that book joined later, like Sun Boy and Bouncing Boy, and Superboy joins after I believe Sun Boy and Drinking Violet joined. So Superboy apparently is number 12, and Supergirl is number 8.
See, now, I know that 247 is the first appearance of the Legion, and Superboy goes and joins at the very first appearance of them. And I realize they've retconned all these other people to kind of insinuate them in to get them interesting, but I'm afraid that I am hidebound by thinking that Superboy was there first with them, and the great story where they basically convinced him that he didn't make it. And which is, of course, what they do in the military, and is what they do at fraternities, and they do all that, is that they make you think you didn't make it, and then they say, yeah, you did, and that's where you get a lot of the esprit de corps on that, and they pulled that same thing on Superboy.
In that first issue, though, there are other members of the Legion there. It's not just
I was
the
going to
three.
say Brainiac's in there.
Brainiac is in there. There's a green.
He's not
skinned-
named.
He's not named, but he's in there.
Mhm.
Like,
Could have been Prody. Could have been Prody.
one of the things that I like to think
Oh,
about
Cody,
when
no.
it comes to the Legion, okay, we are seeing the stories in order as Superboy sees them. They may not be the actual order of how the stories happen in history.
I will not play three-dimensional chess with you ever again, Mr. Atkinson. I
think
just
that's
I
cool.
That's a
cannot
good
do
point,
it.
though.
What?
It's a good point.
No more 3D chess. No more.
No more 3D chess. I'm sorry.
And last
You'll have
book,
to keep playing with Spock.
Venture 247.
Nice.
There you go. And
Beautiful.
2-0.
Sorry, Cliff.
And that's
That's
it.
it. I'm done. I'm done. I've been Zach and Cody. Sweet Life's just crushing me. It's over.
Now, who's your favorite Legion?
It's 2 years of my life just trying to.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, I'm not going to answer Supergirl because that's obvious. I'm going to mention Triplicate Girl as my favorite.
Steppo?
I like Shadowlass.
Cliff?
Well, I have a fondness for this guy, but actually, I first fell in love with Mon-El. God, I really like them all. It's brutal.
Well, it's very difficult. It's Lightning Lad and Mon-El are both real high as well.
You
I
know,
mean, 'cause
Yeah, I would
Lightning
say-
Lad, everything happens to
Forget.
Lightning Lad.
And
Wait,
yeah,
now,
see, for me,
Lightning Lass, can we not forget in the freaking Paul Levitz run how she's just like, oh, these cuffs just blew off of me. I don't know what happened. Wait a second, do I have my lightning powers back? And she took out 4 members of the Legion of Supervillain. Like my girl. And then when she came back, she had the sack over her shoulder. She strutted into the Legion headquarters. She held a committee and she said, I'm back. And I have lightning powers, and I am in, and you're not going to change my powers, Dream Girl. No one is doing it. What do I like? And they're like, I mean, you helped us defeat the Legion of Supervillain. Oh, okay. Like, your brother's honorary. It's fine. But she was the first one who said, I'm having enough of this duplicate power crap. No. I've had enough. And then she had that very quiet, under the table lesbian relationship with Shrinking Violet that I really love and appreciate. That was fabulous. And it just spoke to my young gay heart. So I have a lot of strong love for Lightning Girl. And let's remember, Girl was always a tomboy. She showed up and said, oh, look, I'm not dead. I am Lightning Lad. I'm like, girl, you gotta be careful. You're gonna have to kiss Saturn Girl, but she didn't have a problem. So we always knew she was my girl, and I thought that was a great arc for her. I thought the art was so beautiful, and yeah, I love so many Legionnaires. I really do.
Yeah.
But,
I like Ultra Boy. I like Ultra Boy too because
I like.
I think it's hard to choose. But of the females, I like that. Dream Girl, of course, is good too. I just threw out Shadowlass.
no, but Shadowlass is phenomenal. Remember
I'm
that explosion she contained? What a freaking
yes.
By the way, what a trifling hoe when she first showed up. In her first couple appearances, do you remember her and Brainiac 5 going tit for tat? And like her being like, oh, I really admire how confident he is. And he's like, oh, she's more intelligent than she seems. And I'm like, you need to have more respect for women if you're going to talk to my precious Supergirl, young man. But yeah, I love so many of those things. I love when her brother showed up and he joined the academy and all that. I love her relationship with Mon-El. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I agree. Like, I mean, I say Triplicate Girl and she is, but Chameleon Boy and Saturn Girl are very close behind, and I'm a big fan of Brainiac 5 as well because he's just so different.
I like Brainiac 5 in the series where he's answering all the questions and all that stuff. I enjoyed his portrayal. I like the way he was written on the TV. Who's your favorite, Thomas?
Before I was actually into the Legion, I was in the Starman. So the James Robinson series, which then introduced me to the Legion Starman. And then that's when I started kind of going back, and I had like the first appearance of Ultra Boy in a beat up copy of Superboy that I got in a collection, and I thought he was cool, and I like Timberwolf as well.
And another favorite.
And then I started going back, but my favorite era is like the original, like the '60s. It's the way they're drawn. I don't know. It's just something about like wholesome kind of.
Well, when I was a kid, Lightning Lad was my favorite. As I grew up, I outgrew that one. That was one of the reasons why, because I always saw Lightning Lad. He was the hard luck case of the league.
Well, he was the most heroic. He losing his arm was, and they warned him not to shoot at Super Moby Dick. Don't do it. And he did it anyway. And then it basically bounced. The Moby Dick bounced it up. And what happened to Super Moby Dick?
He got shrunk back to regular size.
And how did he get big?
By accidentally adding negative energy to him. He had a negative charge. It made him big. So they worked on with his fake arm into making it a positive charge to go across. See?
How educational.
Yes,
how educational is that?
Exactly.
Dad, can we open our presents now?
Now, Matt, is yours still ticking?
Mine?
Is it still ticking?
Ticking.
Mine stopped ticking. Mine stopped ticking.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Mine stopped ticking a long time ago.
Wait, look how pretty. Look how pretty their boxes are. Hold on.
Yeah. Poor Cliff.
Oh, did this get wrecked?
Look at this. Look at my box. Look at this.
Holy cow.
He lives the closest to me.
I messaged him. I said, dude, is whatever in here going to be okay? Because this thing showed up like this on my door. Like, pow.
My God.
God in heaven. So are we opening?
Yep, go ahead.
Dun, 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 dun. Meanwhile, as they open the boxes.
Oh no, it's lead rocks. That's my only weakness.
By the way, have any of you guys ever read the story that it turns out it was Legion Annual 4 from the series, where turns out it wasn't Lightning Lad that came back after all, but it was Prody 1 who went into his body?
Well, that's pretty good.
How many times?
Getting there.
How many times have I said that you really listen to me? How many times have I said if I could get one, I would wear? This is so amazing. Oh, Thomas, thank you so much, man. Oh God, this.
Okay, this is cool.
Oh God.
Well,
This is cool.
Oh,
well, Thomas is showing his.
I love it. I love it. They actually
I now called the Legion of Superheroes together.
No, Lyle, Canada Post is not back.
That is so
my God.
fantastic.
Oh,
How
my
did you
Lord.
do this? Thomas, how did you do this?
I hired a guy to design it, and then another guy that lives near you actually made them.
Oh my God. That
These are
I
awesome.
have a moon. I have to kind of rest it back here because
Are they hacks?
even with a
I
moon
packed
head.
mine with paper.
Oh yeah, I'll have to do that.
But the nice thing is, it also doubles as just a display.
Oh, it is.
Nice.
I thank you so
This is
so
awesome.
much. This
No
is.
problem.
I mean, it really is so. is so touching, and it is so, you just hit the nail on the head. You couldn't have done any better. I've thought for years about this. I'm going to be the coolest guy on my block. I'll be the biggest nerd, but I'll be the coolest guy on the block, boy.
Man, these are
It also
awesome.
scales really well with HeroClix.
Oh, why'd you have to go and do that? Why'd you have? Now I'm gonna have Legionnaires all over there.
I got him back there.
TM Nerdy, what's up, baby? Look at this. Look, TM. I know you're reading Zap Goes the Legion. Look at
Biggie's
this.
here too. Hi, Biggie.
Look at this. Big Shep. Look.
Well, we
at-
got to have a picture with all four of us wearing our helmets, because we'll have to take a screenshot.
Who's gonna do it, Shelby? Am I doing it?
Yeah, you do
You're
it. I
probably
don't
the
know.
best
All right,
person
everyone,
to
hold
do
still.
it.
Hold still. Hold still. Oh, this is terrible. Oh God. You know what? Y'all are gonna love it because it's ugly. Let me go.
I feel like we should be like the Order of the Water Buffalo.
Right.
Well, it really is. I don't know who the poobah is. The
Well,
Grand
it's obviously
Poobah.
Thomas.
I like Stepo.
Du-du-du-du-du.
I'm sending it to Matt and Tom right now.
Oh, that is so thoughtful. Thank you so much.
This is fantastic.
I just love it. Oh, that is so cool.
I'll have to find a place on the shelf where that can be visible. It can go right next to my Adventure 247.
I'm gonna have to find a place for this. Oh, it is so cool.
This is awesome.
It's
This
great.
is so awesome.
If I had had this in 1960, I think that all of the guys in the neighborhood would have expired. Hello, everyone.
Well, you know what? The Legion was pretty
Hi.
popular around in my neighborhood too, between 1980 and 1984. So yeah, we would have.
Flip it upside down and use it as a cooler or umbrella stand. Or...
Oh, cool.
Popcorn bucket. Oh my God.
There you go. Popcorn bucket.
What layer some plastic and whatever? You got your popcorn bucket. Yeah.
We are the team of bullet men. We just need a bullet girl.
Yes.
It is so good. It is so great.
Oh,
What a thoughtful gift.
Oh my God. I love that it can be a popcorn bucket. Like now it's got
I love that
I
can
would
just
not
kinda sit around
sully
and,
my helmet with popcorn. I cannot.
Steppo,
Sacrilege.
you put a liner,
Yeah, put a liner in it.
and then the popcorn, and then enjoy.
and I think it's gonna be
Or like 7-Eleven day when you can fill like a container with the big gulps or the Slurpees. Walk in 7-Eleven, fill it full of Slurpee.
Okay.
You've
stop.
got little red stripes on yours, Thomas. Do you have red? What are the red stripes on the inside? Oh, yours come through?
Yeah, yours didn't?
No, they don't.
No,
Why?
maybe it's Thomas's is the original. He
His
wants-
is the prototype.
Might be.
Are the replicates?
Well, no, the first one actually was made like this. It was made sideways with the door in the front. And I was like, no, they got to be able to wear it. And the guy was, oh, and then he changed it. This might have been like the first one he ran off, though, after he changed it.
So the red is actually there. It comes through the helmet on yours. Then the red comes all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of ours we're all yellow inside.
Do you have the white?
Why
The
do
white
I feel like,
this part
we
white
should
around
be-
it?
No, there's no white around it either.
Yours are all yellow.
Yeah, 100% yellow.
Yeah, he might have ran
feel
this one
like,
off
I
after the
feel
mistake.
like with these hats on, we can bring back Devo.
Either that or we'll asphyxiate or something. I have a moon head, and this thing, it goes all the way. It's amazing. They can have a big enough size for my enormous melon. I have to be canted. And then it sounds like an echo in my head. I feel like the Cowardly Lion. Who's king of the forest? My God, Cliff, you look like the Pope.
I feel like the woman from the alien that disguised herself as a woman in Mars Attacks.
I always remembered those Slim Whitman ads where they say he sold more albums than the Beatles. I said, where? And then of course his was the music that made all their heads vibrate and explode. So good. Tom Jones is in there. What a great show.
Homer.
By the one.
Jones too. Oh my god, like the president's daughter is like the only person left alive to carry on a semblance of government.
I know.
It's so great, but that's okay because she was one of the smarter people in the movie anyway, so I guess that works.
This
Well,
is just
This is awesome.
Thomas, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thought about this for the longest time, that I said if anybody could do this, and you knocked it completely out of the. I couldn't be more surprised. Of all the things I thought would be in this box, this wasn't what I was looking for.
I had no clue. The only thing I understood was you had asked me prior about hat sizes. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh no, I got a big ass head. And that was the end of that. And then time passed and you're like, oh, blah, 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 Legion Night. And I'm like, all right,
Is it resin that it's made out of resin?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the guy, like I said, the guy made the first one sideways with the door in the over here.
Oh
So
yeah.
it would have been like that. And I was
Okay.
like, no, it's too wide.
It won't
Like
fit.
this.
It won't fit on the short side for me.
Right.
It has to be this
Yeah, it
way.
has to be like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you almost get it on comfortably. Good for you.
I have a big fat head.
Yeah,
Well,
so probably stuff
like I said, I've got an enormous moon head. Like baseball caps, it's always on the last snap. Like Houdat's got a big melon too, and he has to put it. He showed me. He says, "Look, I got it on the last snap too." He says, "What are they? Where are the people? Are they making these hats in the Philippines? I mean, what do they think? We got these enormous brains. These giant skulls." Well, I will wear this proudly. I'll have to figure some way to put some kind of cushion inside here so that it will rest on my enormous dome.
I asked the guy if he could do like a hard hat insert, like the little things for a hard hat, but there was no way to add it in there.
No, this is fine. It's got everything going for it. It's the color, it looks. I always thought that it was either a bowling pin upside down or it was a bomb that went into the ground and then didn't explode. Those were the two things I always thought.
It was a guy who could turn into a clubhouse, who lost all of his memories and stay in a clubhouse. That was a very sad story.
I remember
it
that
was a
story
rocket.
actually.
It was a rocket that crashed in that spot.
In which continuity? Like when they did Secret Origins of the Legion, this turned out to be whatever that kid was, Clubhouse Kid or whatever. It turned out to be him, and he made himself into this to protect the Legion, and got all of his memories wiped. And then when they got hit by the memory blast, they forgot that this was a person.
I'm so happy.
Never heard that one before.
This is like a Christmas story, Christmas present. It really is. This to me.
Careful.
This is like a Christmas story. This is like a Red Ryder BB gun. It really is. It's Thomas, you're so nice to do this, to go to all this trouble for us. It really, I mean, my God, what a wonderful gift. This is fantastic.
But you guys have been great to me, and like I said, Step Out, like I've hit you up and asked you for advice and things with comics, and you always help me out. So,
I want everyone else to suffer the same way I do in my mania. I want you to be sucked into the vortex with me. Misery loves company, and I just said, Thomas, let me help you. Let me facilitate you down to the dark side.
I mean, all I ever did was just show up. So thank you. I appreciate you.
And
This
Cliff,
is just, this
the
is
first time I
just
talked to
so
Cliff,
great.
Cliff rallied the troops and got my numbers up. So I appreciate you too, Cliff. And then Matt, you had me on your show for the first time. And then y'all like Legion, so I was like, this is perfect.
I thank you so much.
There's a
Truly.
reason that I call my there's a reason there's a name Legion in my reinforcements.
Well, I'll tell you, I know at least I know one guy I know is going to appreciate this like crazy, or maybe he's grown out of it. I just never grew out of it. Okay.
Mhm.
I never grew out of the Legion. I never did. They are my first love. They continue to be. I have so many memories reading these books and Flash, but these books were the very first. These are the ones that really opened my eyes, and I learned to read reading these. Like I said, I was 7 in 1960, and I was, and the thing was, when you are motivated to learn how to read, you learn to read quick, because I wanted, what the hell's going on? I see the pictures. I wanted to read that, and it was my mission to understand that. And it really was a great aid to me to learn to read. I knew and as Marvel came out, my parents noticed that 2 words were very, very prominent. One was invulnerable, and the other is ironic. I'll give you 3 guesses which was ironic. It was Marvel. Everything is ironic. How ironic. The villain got caught in his own fire. How ironic. Superman's invulnerable. Great stuff.
Not to magic and kryptonite.
There you go. The magic
I
of
love
kryptonite.
the fact that's another thing that I like about that Adventure Comics that was one of the first things I ever read. They stopped the kryptonite from affecting Superboy by changing the color. The color kid comes out and changes it from green to blue. Never mind that they had a guy on the team who could transform Element.
Mhm.
Yeah, Element Lad could. Why didn't Element Lad do that stuff whenever there was kryptonite around? That's it. The bubble wrap is perfect.
Yep.
Then I'm going to have a sweaty head.
But it'll be.
I don't know what that means. It doesn't sound
Well-
right. It works.
There's a 99% probability this will mostly be worn on camera anyway.
Well, it's a must. And let them scoff, and they don't get it. They don't
Well, you
get
know
it.
what? We've
They're
got
not cool
something
ones.
to wear tomorrow night on Alan's show.
There you go.
Oh, I'm good. I will definitely be wearing it.
Mhm. I will also put it on.
Will y'all ask Alan to invite me so that like I'll show up with the helmet?
And of course, we'll
God,
also
I love this, man.
consume mass quantities as we go on. Like the cone
Oh,
head.
you don't want to see how I can inhale a Subway footlong. Y'all don't want to see that.
Oh, God.
Probably not.
I put that girl to shame in that movie. You better watch out.
Oh.
You know? And I don't order them slim subs. I order that big double meat, double cheese, double bacon subs. You know.
Oh, man.
'Cause
You
I'm
made
not-
my day. I had such a crappy day today. This really just jazzes me absolutely over the moon. I can't say thank you enough. I really, Thomas, you really hit it out of the park. The nerd factor is completely off the chart. It's perfect. It could not be better.
And I mean, honestly, like it put a smile on my face, and I've been having a 2025.
Oh, that's just so good. It's so nerdy. I love it. Oh.
It is-
Well, Tom,
On
did
that
you have
note-
anything else on your mind other than a helmet?
No, I think we're going to end it on this
Okay.
and say goodbye to the chat.
Thanks,
And-
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Trying to figure this out.
Look at Christina. Hit that thumbs up, everybody. Hit them
Hit them.
or caress them into place. Yeah, I think I like this more than my crowns. And we know I love my crowns.
All right, we're going to end it. See you guys next time.
See you
Bye,
guys.